This video is going to introduce some of the key themes and content that we cover as part of our PSHE curriculum. So this covers personal, social, relationship, sex and health education. It also incorporates factors of citizenship and careers as well. Here you can see our vision for PSHE. The key thing for us is that our curriculum should enable students to make informed choices through giving them knowledge and skills to equip them both when they're in school but also when they leave school as well. We want students to have good careers guidance, to focus on skills and knowledge related to mental and physical health, to have the opportunity to ask questions and explore issues that are important to them. We also want them to understand what makes a healthy lifestyle, and also to make sure that we are really empowering students to understand the idea of safety and important issues that are key for them. We want our curriculum to be relevant, and so we always ensure that whatever we provide is tailored to the needs of our students. And our curriculum is constantly reviewed by students and staff to ensure that it's as relevant as possible. So across our curriculum, we use the three themes provided by the PSHE Association to structure the work that we do. So we look at three key areas: health and well-being, relationships, and then living in the wider world. So you can see here, this is our curriculum map going from year 7 to year 11. Our sixth form team also provide a PSHE curriculum for their students as well. As part of this, you can see there are various topics, and all of them are delivered at age-appropriate levels. Depending on the needs of the student and the cohort, we might adapt different topics and different themes that we cover, but generally it will follow this particular route, and students will cover all of these issues through their tutor time PSHE sessions. So we're just going to have a look at each of the year groups in a bit more detail and have a look at the kind of things that we might be discussing and talking about in PSHE in these different year groups. So our first one is year 7, where we mainly focus on how students settle into school, looking at friendship, dealing with change. We also have a look at online safety and start to introduce some of those key personal safety issues as well. We also start students thinking about careers, because we want them to start right from year 7, being really aspirational and starting to think about what it would be that they would like to go on to do. We look at puberty and looking at personal development, and that also ties in with the work they do in science as well. And we also look at being healthy, and again focusing on both physical and mental health within that particular topic. In year 8, we build on the themes we looked at in year 7. And so again, we revisit the online safety, building on those skills, building on that knowledge. And we also think about trustworthy sources and getting students to think critically about the kind of information that they're accessing online. We look at first aid, and all students have a first aid training session in year 8 done by paramedics and trained first aiders who come and deliver that for us. We start to look at different types of relationships and understanding what forms those relationships might take, and how within relationships we can form those healthy responses to relationships, looking at the difference between being aggressive versus being assertive, being passive, so students can really start to build those communication skills that they need in those relationships going forward. We consider some issues to do with community and our local community and our worldwide community as well. We again build on our careers work. We look at particularly the idea of wages and holidays and getting students to think about the world of work and the kind of skills they might want to develop. And we also look at the issue of self-esteem and confidence and all of the different factors that might go into that as well. In year 9, we start by looking at issues to do with drugs and alcohol awareness, and again introducing those key bits of information, that key space for students to understand some of the issues related to that. We build on the idea of relationships. We look at contraception, STIs and self-examination, the importance of all of those things, and we also look at healthy relationships and the key issue of consent. One of the areas we look at in terms of careers as a key event in year 9 is making GCSE options, and students will have lots of input to help them support them with making that choice. We look at stereotypes, and we have built a curriculum looking at what stereotypes are and for students to understand what some of the concerns are there, and our Diversity Council have helped to structure this particular unit as well. And we also look at within our careers topic, setting goals and aspirations, encouraging students to think really aspirationally about where they want to go and what they want to do in the future as well. In Year 10, we begin by looking at issues regarding health and particularly mental health and the importance of sleep and all of the factors that go into that as well. And we also look at quite a bit of the living in the wider world theme. And so we start by looking at how we can live economically independently, financial capability. We also look at the issue of gambling and some of the concerns to do with that as well. And lots of these resources are tied to resources produced by the PSHE Association and nationally accredited organisations as well. We build on our relationships work to look at types of relationships, and we also look at families and parenting as a unit in relationships as well. Lastly, in terms of careers, we start to look at post-16 options so that students think about it before they reach Year 11 and start to think about where they might like to go after they have completed their GCSE. So in Year 11, we build on everything that students have covered so far in PSHE. We focus particularly on health, particularly on mental health and resilience, really equipping students to face the challenges that they might have to overcome as part of their last GCSE year with the exams and all of the preparation that goes into it. We also build on the work on relationships, focusing particularly on relationships and the law and safety, and students really having a good sense of their rights as well. We look at careers again and making sure that students are making the best choices for them in terms of their post-16 options. So we look at writing CVs and personal statements, filling in application forms and interviews and all of the skills that they might need to make those next steps going forward. I hope that this video has given you a good insight into what our PSHE curriculum looks like at the Griffin School. We also have a wide range of other input throughout the year from outside speakers and key events raised by students and staff and various other input from our year heads as well, and they all form part of this wider curriculum. We also have support for our students from our careers advisor and lots of other support from members of staff in terms of things like mental health and safety and consent and all of these wider issues that feed into their experience. But this video has covered what we do in our curriculum in terms of our PSHE